حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1960.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Now 6 o'clock.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Welcome once again to the Peterborough Property Guys on Salam Radio. Hope you've had a good start to the week. You're with myself, Qasafi Sadiq, the host of the Property Guys, alongside my co-host Adam Cooper, enjoying our usual cup of tea as we do every Tuesday before the show. How you doing, Adam?
I'm great, Qasafi. I'm great. I'm always better with some tea, though, you know.
It does a trick, doesn't it?
Cool. It's all that sugar. It really livens me up, ready for the show.
Especially this time of the year. It's a bit chilly out there. Nothing like a nice hot cup of tea, eh?
Definitely.
How's your day been? How's your week been so far in terms of second day of the week?
It's been really good, you know. I always find Tuesdays a bit crazy because you just got over Monday. And I don't know about you yourself, because we've got so many new landlords at the minute looking to purchase more property and looking to renovate them into shared houses at the minute. It's gone crazy.
Has that always been the case, or is this a new kind of...
This is quite a new level of demand, to be honest. I mean, we've always been fairly busy with it, but just recently, I mean, we've got a good 41 rooms in the construction phase at the minute.
Fair enough. It's quite interesting because you've got Brexit looming upon us and you'd think it's slowed down, but that's good news. I mean, we say every year, don't we? Not every year, every week. You know, we're in demand of properties.
We really are.
It's good to know that, you know, there's a lot of activity going on. So, guys, we're bringing to you on Salam Radio every Tuesdays at our new time, 6 o'clock, our show, the Peterborough Property Guys. We're now live on Salam Radio on 106.2 FM. You can listen to us online by visiting salamradio.co.uk or watch the show on our streaming services by searching Salam Radio on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram or Twitter. So if you do prefer mobile, please download the App Store or Google Play. Salam Radio is always on air 24/7, 365, uniting all communities. You can watch the repeat of the show by searching Salam Radio on our streaming services. So today's guest is Romel Jahar from London. So Romel, he's associated with several types of businesses. His main career background is in IT recruitment industry. He's been a business owner for over 14 years. He bought his first property at the age of 21. He's been in the buy-to-let industry for runabout since 2012. He's got a small portfolio of just runabout 9 plus properties that consists of HMOs and multiple single lets. across the Surrey, Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire counties. So we're going to be having Ramel on the show very soon. So if you guys got any questions, you would have to ask Ramel and get involved in the show by dialing the studio number on 01733 602 133, or you can text or WhatsApp on 07745 278 978. We're also on Facebook Live, so that's our normal source of activity. So do get involved, guys. So today's topics, we've got 2 topics today, haven't we, Adam?
We've got 2 really exciting topics today.
Really exciting topics.
We really do.
The first topic of the day it's going to be about do we have the right sort of Peterborough homes for the 21st century? So we're going to be talking about that topic to start off with, and we're going to nicely move on to how 6% of all properties sold in Peterborough are new builds.
A really interesting stat that is, to be fair, Qasafi. 6% as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought it would have been...
Peterborough's community radio station, Salam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Get some cheeky adverts in there where you can.
What can I say? That's just my style, you know.
They had 6% new homes and went, no, you're not playing that.
I don't know if that was me or, you know.
I think Michelle was trying to get it in there sneakily, eh? Get a subliminal messaging.
I did say to Amir, we need kind of a headline, a theme. So maybe that was a test to see how it goes. But yeah, don't worry, guys, are going to be full of surprises on this show. So let's move on to our first topic. Do we have the right sort of Peterborough homes for the 21st century? So before we do go on to that, we've missed one of the main part of the programme.
Why should people listen to us every Tuesday between 6 and 7?
I missed that bit out, haven't I?
You did.
And we haven't got any headlines today.
Where's the headlines at?
Slacking, aren't we?
Oh my God. Well, guys, let me tell you why you should watch us or listen to us every single Tuesday between 6 and 7 p.m. without fail. Because we're bringing to you all the latest news in property, all the latest trends, all the regulation changes, trying to keep everyone ahead of the game. Because, guys, together we are stronger. You know, we get all the local experts on as well to bring you that knowledge. And not only that, we get the local landlords as well, guys, because, you know, what better than to learn from other people's mistakes and our own experiences as well, where certain landlords are having success in one area, we can benefit from that as well, because it was one thing I've learnt in property. Everyone seems to want to help everyone. It's the one sort of industry I've seen and witnessed myself where people genuinely want you to succeed, because when you succeed, your tenant succeeds and everyone wins. So, guys, join us every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m, and listen to myself and Qasafi on the Property Guys.
Amazing. I mean, just to touch upon that like I do every week, it's our guests that really make the show happen, because the guests that we have on our show are industry experts. You know, we've had the likes of Chris Watkins on the show, you know, big name in the industry, and, you know, just listen to his background and, you know, his golden nuggets that he gives away, and alongside many other people that have come on the show that will be giving away some very, very important, vital news about the property market in general. So, Adam, let's start off with our first topic. Do we have the right sort of Peterborough homes for the 21st century?
So this is a really interesting topic we're going to discuss here, because I've got a lot of views, and I'm sure other people got a lot of views on it as well. But I mean, from what I can see and what I experience around here, is that we're just not building enough smaller homes in Peterborough that are needed. You know, for the starter homes, that, as per always, there's never enough bungalows. Because bungalows, they take up a lot of land, don't they? So a lot of developers don't want to build bungalows anymore. And you'll find that everyone will try and push through whatever they can through planning, because at the end of the day, developers there, one, to build homes, but two, to make profit. Precisely. And of course, with the planning criteria getting tighter and tighter, you know, they tend to build whatever they can get. So I mean, I actually delved in some stats, particularly for the PE2 area, because there's a lot of development happening there recently. Don't you notice with the Flet and Keys and all that sort of development there as well? There's a lot of smaller developers happening around there as well, I see. So looking at the Peterborough property types versus the regional versus national. So looking at apartments over in P2, there's 8.58% of apartments there. Compare that with the P postcode in general, there's 6.29, and compare that to the UK, there's 18.08. So it's actually a little bit less than most of the UK, which I found it quite surprising, to be honest, because, like I say, with the likes of the Flet and Keys going up, you've got Cubbit Way development, you would have thought there's a fair few flats there, but, you know, it's deceiving, eh? One thing we're not short of in the P2 area is terraced houses. There's 34.87 of the market is terraced houses there, which isn't surprising, with it being old Victorian streets. There's loads of little terrace streets there. You compare that to the PE postcode as a whole, There's only 23.09% of them make up the terrace houses, and the UK as a whole is 30%. So we're a little bit over that, which is interesting. I think.
Yeah. So do you actually think we're building enough of those kind of homes? Because let's be honest with ourselves, they're more ideal for first-time buyers, aren't they? They're more affordable. So why is it that builders are not building those kind of homes anymore? I know you mentioned bungalows take up a lot of land, so
You know what it is? I see a lot of townhouse developments now, and it's purely because of it's a bang for the buck, isn't it? If you can go up rather than across, you can save more on the land, you can accommodate more, and you can sell it for more.
yeah.
And ultimately, with the housing shortage, I believe the planning part would be more inclined to push that way, because they know they can house more numbers in them houses, with it still looking pretty. Because again, it's all about preserving the area, making sure it fits in with the street view and all that stuff as well. So I believe that's why a lot of them are going that. And I've noticed some really, really big townhouses now as well. Like we're doing a conversion of one at the minute, and I noticed we're in a 3-story in Hampton. That's a big house. I mean, this is a 4 or 5 bed house, and you only got one parking space, small garden. So you're not your typical family home. But I noticed across the road there's a 4-story version of that. With the same amount of land and everything. So it just goes to show, like, people are building more and more of that just to go up again to keep the cost down on the land. And I guess it's because as the house prices rise, so do the land. So again, they've got to make their money somewhere, haven't they?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, with the stats that you've kind of you mentioned, what is it that you are finding with those kind of stats, especially for our listeners out there?
I'm finding that really looking at the majority of what we have here, we've got a weird ratio compared to the rest of the UK, because again, looking at the final one, the detached properties, again in the P2 area makes up 28.49% of it.
Wow.
In the P postcode 42.91, but in the UK the average is 23.42%. So we have a lot of detached houses, which again you wouldn't have thought looking at most of Peterborough.
Really interesting. I mean, would you say that builders are to blame for building the wrong homes, or is there a hidden kind of agenda with that problem that we're having?
Well, like I said, Qasafi, the builders do what they do best. They want to build, but there's always a lack of building land in Peterborough. So if there's a shortage of building land, then of course new home builders are just going to build whatever has the biggest profit. The properties that give them the largest profit are the biggest and most expensive properties, and they're certainly not the bungalows. They're taking up too much space. So, I mean, who can blame them?
It's quite interesting. I mean, thinking about it, especially speaking last few times in our topics, we mentioned the amount of residential property that take up the land in the UK. Is there a lack of land in Peterborough?
I don't think it's so much lack of land, it's lack of planning, isn't it? I mean, we've got a lot of green land, we've got a lot of, there's a lot of green land around us, we're in the fens at the end of the day. So it all depends, again, what land is available to build on and what we're going to get planning on. Because, I mean, I was looking at the stats. Looking at the stats, it's definitely not a lack of space. Because, again, look at all the green you fly. Whenever you're on holiday, Qasafi, look at all the green you fly over in the UK.
Absolutely.
We've got so much. I mean, obviously we must observe the green belts, but it's only 1.2%. 1.2% is built in this country as a whole with homes. That is an insanely low amount.
Yeah. So what's the answer? Build more council houses, would you suggest?
Well, there is always that, but then the local authority doesn't have the funds for it, do they? I mean, they're struggling to maintain and keep up. I know local authorities now even got to raise their own money for investments. So that relying on just the local authority houses to make up the demand is it's a failing plan, I think. Because the government relaxed the planning laws a few years ago again to help us develop more homes with less restrictions, with the permit development rights, with the changing office spaces to residential. Which that really, really helped. It really helped take a lot of unused buildings and put it into good use and good city centre locations as well.
No, I totally agree with that. I see a lot, especially commercial, old commercial buildings are not being used. I think that was a really good idea from the government to kind of, incentivise investors and first-time buyers. Of course, it benefits both types, the buyers and the sellers, and the investors. So I think.
So true. I mean, we had Ray Spooner on the other day, didn't we? And I'd seen one of his developments. He turned an old office space, which the previous owner couldn't rent. It'd been up for rent and up for sale for about a year. It was a big office space. It was too big for what your typical companies would want to take nowadays. They're more looking for smaller chunks of commercial units. They're not looking for massive blocks anymore. Gone are the days of the massive overheads for these big companies, because so many of the bigger boys are going bust because of it, because of large overheads.
Totally agree.
So He took one of them office blocks and turned it into 8 apartments. So that's 8 apartments. I think luxury high-end apartments now added in the city centre, available to be rented out.
It's quite interesting because, especially for our listeners out there, they must be thinking, okay, so how easy was it to do that? And if they kept it as offices, would they have benefited more from renting the offices instead?
Well, again, the government gives you some really good incentives to change offices to residential. I mean, I'm no tax expert by far, but I know there's massive capital allowances to be gained on these commercial conversions. So not only are the planning laws a bit more relaxed on them, allowing more people to take the opportunity to develop them, but also there's tax incentives. So when you face it with an office where, although there'll be long-term tenants normally, you get long-term voids as well. Like I say, this block's empty for a year, at least a year.
Right. Okay.
Hence why they're considering selling it, and hence why they did. And that's in the city centre. That's as central as it gets.
Yeah.
So
really interesting.
You would have thought if these things were popular, they would have gone. I mean, I don't know about yourself, because my office on Prescott, I walk down Prescott, I see half the office is empty still.
Yeah. Totally
At least
agree.
half.
Well, a lot of the commercial buildings are being purchased and renovated into flats nowadays, as you see quite vigorously all over, especially main central Peterborough.
Oh, there's even Poundland, isn't there?
Poundland, the old Marks and Spencers,
Yeah.
Bayard Place has moved and that's been converted, the old job centre. So it's really, really interesting. So in terms of, are we building the right kind of houses in Peterborough? I mean, what does that mean for the Peterborough homeowners and the Peterborough landlords?
Well, see, changing the dynamics of the Peterborough regional and national property market will only change in decades. It won't change in years, because the simple fact is we are living longer. And we need 240,000 to 250,000 houses a year to stand still with demand, let alone to start to eat in 30 years of building, where the average has been just under 170,000 households a year.
Wow, so that's 70,000 houses short. Every year. That's quite a lot of houses.
That's quite a big backlog, isn't it? When you look at over 30 years, it's going to take a lot to catch up. So that means today as a country, we have a pent-up demand of 2.25 million additional households. And we need to build a further 4.2 million households on top of that figure for population growth between 2019 and 2039.
Wow, okay.
That's a lot of homes, which means we need a lot of land.
Wow.
So, I mean, irrespective of whether we have a short-term blip in the property market in the next 12 to 18 months, investing in property is and always will be a great investment, as demand will always outstrip supply in growing areas like this. I
couldn't agree more with that. I think it's so true. We've seen over the last decade, in fact, how population has so rapidly increased. Peterborough has become a very vibrant, busy city now. It was a few years ago one of the busiest, one of the fastest growing cities in the whole of the UK. So I wouldn't say just Peterborough, it's UK generally. Go to London, you go to other surrounding cities, it's getting busier and busier, which shows the population is growing quite rapidly. And we obviously need to build more homes.
We do. We're going to keep up with this demand.
Yeah. And that's why property is always lucrative. That's why there's always a demand in property. That's because, the government aren't building enough. So it has to be private investors who kind of take half the responsibility.
And we get paid to solve problems, don't we? We get paid to solve problems. We get paid to serve people in this world.
Yeah.
And when you're solving people's problems by building good houses, and you're serving them by building these houses as well. So it is a human nature cycle going round.
I love the way you said that. You're there to solve a problem.
Yeah.
And I like that business mentality, to be fair, because you ask a typical estate agent, what do you do? And they're like, we sell houses or we rent houses. But the way you kind of described, we're here to solve people's problems.
That's what it's all about in this game, Qasafi. It's got to be a win-win situation for all involved. So we're solving the tenants' problems. We're solving, you're solving the homeowners' problems. Yeah. We're giving high-quality houses, which is what this market needs, to tenants, and we're solving the landlord's problem. They're getting more return than they're getting in the bank.
Yeah. So we've got a motto for our business. Helping or enabling people to move on to the next chapter of their life. When someone says, "What do you do?" We're like, we help people move on to the next chapter of their life.
And it's so true, isn't it?
And I think if people use that kind of as their first point of motivation for their job, I think people, one, will enjoy a lot better, and secondly, they won't feel that pressure, the pressure that you get in a cutthroat estate agency where you have to deliver and deliver and deliver.
Exactly. I always say money's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of the services you offer.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, we could be here all day, eh?
So the next topic is 6% of all properties sold in Peterborough are new builds. So of 18,000 housing apartments sold in Peterborough, PE1, since 1995, 1,300 of those have been new homes, representing 6% of all properties sold. So I wondered how that compared to both the regional and the national picture. And from that, the pertinent questions are we building too many new homes, or are we not building enough? Roll the clock back a few years in 2013, and the government expressed its disappointment that as a country, builders weren't building enough new homes to house our citizens. They promised to hasten new house buildings to the fastest rate since the 1980s, when the country was building on average 168,100 private households a year. The housing minister stated he wanted the private sector to build an excess of 108,000 households a year, a figure which seemed unachievable at that time. So, I don't know, are we actually going to be meeting the targets to build new homes?
Well, again, because I've looked into it. I'm going back to 2013. Private house building was in the depths of the post-credit crunch dip, with just 96,550 private new homes being built that year. Yet, when you look forward in time, in the next 5 years since then, private new build completions have climbed steadily, rising by 59.5% to 154,100 new home completions in 2018. So, on appearances alone, whilst the growth is really impressive, the new homes builders haven't quite met the targets. But, in addition to the 154,100 new homes, the private sector also provided an additional 29,700 new households gained from change of use between office, industrial and agriculture buildings to residential homes. That means last year the private sector created 183,800 new households. Okay. And then when we look at the public sector, there were 30,300 housing association new homes and 2,950 council houses built last year. After making a few other minor adjustments, the total number of new households as to what is created in the UK in 2018 was a whopping 222,190 homes.
That's not too bad. So
it's not that bad. Everyone pitched in.
Yeah, we just about got there, didn't we?
Pretty much, yeah. And it goes to show, just touching the base on the office to residential use, I did a massive chunk. I added 29,000, nearly 30,000 new homes, to the UK alone. Imagine how that's not even that. You would have thought it's not that many office buildings either, because these office buildings, Qasafi, they always get between sort of 8 and 20 in them normally. I see some schemes going up to 100 in Peterborough alone. But they're always good numbers. So it really does alleviate a lot of pressure.
It still doesn't make up for the lack of properties we built over the last couple of decades, though, does it, really?
Not yet, but we're stepping in the right direction over a few of these things.
Who's buying these new build homes that gives builders the confidence?
Well, most of the growth can be credited to an improving economic framework.
Okay.
Through continued help of the first-time buyers, the Help to Buy scheme, it's enabled a lot of younger buyers to bypass the issue of saving for a large deposit for a mortgage when they're trying to buy a home, and thus supporting confidence among new home builders to commit to a larger building scheme. So, because again, it's all about confidence in the market, isn't it, Qasafi? If builders aren't feeling confident they're going to be able to sell the homes the price they need, they simply won't build here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
there's still more to do. The government wants the country to return to the Hawken days of the 1960s, where, as a country, we're building 300,000 additional homes a year. And they want that to happen by 2025. That's a 36% increase from current levels.
Wow. So that really does kind of show that we want to move in the right direction. And if we do, then we need to increase it by 36%
Definitely.
every year.
I think we always want to hit it, don't we?
It's a big ask, isn't it?
It is, but we always want to hit it. But I think, again, it's just working as a team. Right? It's like the developers, the big boys as well, and the government, really.
So, given the figures that you mentioned, how does Peterborough sit within that framework?
So, I was looking, and again, I'm looking at the current targets Peterborough's got, and the UK currently has 27.2 million households, of which 2.45 million, so it's only 9%, is of those houses been built since 95, whereas Peterborough, of the 21,500 households in PE1, 1,300 of them were built since 95. That represents only 6% of all households, meaning Peterborough has a lower portion of new homes building in the last couple of decades than the national figures.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Who do we mainly rely on to build these homes?
I certainly feel there's an over-reliance on the private sector, to be honest, Qasafi, to meet the country's housing needs. And local authorities need to step up to the plate and build a few more houses, because it's true, central government has released more cash for them to do it, But I mean, it's probably only 20 to 25% of what is required. So in the meantime, unless the country starts to build 300,000 households a year, property prices will retain and improve their value in the medium to long term, which in a day is good news for people landlords and people homeowners.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So 6% of new builds were built in Peterborough.
Mm-hmm.
And how much was built in regionally and in the UK overall? Looking at the graph.
So looking regionally, so looking at new homes sold as percentage of all transactions since 95. Regionally, the average is 11.1%, and in the UK it's 10.4%. So we are still a good 4% off everyone else, really. In our area, in the P1 area.
Not doing too bad then, are we?
Not doing too bad, no. So again, we're heading in the right direction. Again, I bet that all boils down to lack of land, though, or lack of available land to build on.
Available land, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. We had more land to build on. I know plenty of developers who'd be happy to get out and start building, myself included.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with you.
In the meantime, though, we have to make the most of what we got, eh?
Yeah. I mean, what could we do to scout for land?
Scout for land, it's just getting out, isn't it? It's getting active. I mean, you'd be surprised how easy it can be to find land. Now, if you just whatever you notice when you're driving around, I mean, if you actually just take a walk around, I hear a lot of people, they literally advise just get out and take a walk around your local area and actually take in the sights.
Yeah.
Because we don't do it as humans. We're so subconscious minded. We're just driving to work. We're just walking to work. And when was the last time you drove to work and remembered the whole drive? Very rare.
Yeah. There's actually certain sort of softwares out there at the moment where you could have a bird's eye view of all the land in your city.
Okay.
And it even shows you who that land belongs to, whether it's council owned or privately owned. And I know a couple of companies that use that to scout for land. And what they simply do is just write to the owner. So look, you've got a large plot of land available. You know, what you're looking to do with it. I think maybe a bit of that.
Yeah, it's getting direct to the owner, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of these owners wouldn't realise they wanted to sell until they realise what it's worth, eh? They might stay on that land for years and years.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, we're coming to our break in literally about 40-50 seconds. So make sure you do come back for the second half of the show, because we're going to be questioning our guest, as mentioned, Rumal Johar, who is from London, and he's associated with many businesses, one being a buy-to-let landlord, and he's got investments all over the county. He's got some in Surrey, Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire, so it'd be really good to just question him about his background and just talk to him about property.
Definitely. I always like hearing what his other landlords got to say. Yeah. And their experiences as well in the current market.
Absolutely. And if you've got any question, guys, then this is the place to be. Get involved, get on the phone, give us a call, WhatsApp us, or get us on Facebook Live. So guys, don't go away, and we'll see you after the break.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11 a.m. till late.
The masjid is a center of spirituality, education, and a social hub for the community. In the times of the Blessed Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, the masjid lay at the heart of society and was not just a place of sanctuary and prayer, but also a thriving educational institution. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, be it large or small, Allah will build for him a house in paradise." Sunnah al-Tirmidhi. The role of the masjid has always been instrumental in the educational, social and moral uplifting of the Muslim community. Please donate by visiting childrenofadam.net or call us on 0300 321 0032.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
दोस्ता की परेशान है
जरा कर है ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं अमार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आला ता उत्थे कै स्पेशल आ
उना की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीजें चंगियां मियारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफरां ही ऑफरां
और क्या
ताजा गोश्त ताजी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक ने टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के ही कचड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. On the authority of Abu Dharr, may Allah be pleased with him. Some of the companions of the Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, said to the Prophet, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, O Messenger of Allah, the affluent have made off with the rewards. They pray as we pray, they fast as we fast, and they give away in charity the superfluity of their wealth. He said, has not Allah made things for you to give away in charity? Truly every tasbihah is a charity, every takbirah is a charity, every tahmidah is a charity, and every tahleelah is a charity. To enjoin a good action is a charity, to forbid an evil action is a charity, and in the sexual act of each of you there is a charity. They said, O Messenger of Allah, when one of us fulfills his sexual desire, will he have some reward for that? He said, do you not think that were he to act upon it unlawfully, he would be sinning? Likewise, if he has acted upon it lawfully, he will have a reward. It was related by Muslim.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Hello everyone, we are back on Salam FM. You're listening to us on 106.2
now
FM.
6:30.
Sorry about that, guys. Just getting some extra adverts in there just for fun. So, guys, you're listening to us on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. You're with myself, Adam Cooper, and Qasafi Siddiq, and we are the Peterborough Property Guys. We're just about to get started with our next guest, Mr. Ramel Johor. We're really excited. So, guys, Ramel Johor is a landlord in Peterborough and multiple areas. He has a background in property for the last 12 years. Oh, no, sorry, last 7 years. Sorry, I'm making sound old now, aren't I? But so, guys, if you want to get any questions in, you can drop us a text or drop us a WhatsApp on 07745 278 978, or if you want to get involved on the phone, our number is 01733 602 133. So, guys, we are going to see if we can get Mr. Ramel Johor on Skype and get us to join him on the call. So, bear with us.
Yep. Whilst doing that, I'm just going to recap on some of the things that we discussed before the break. And our two topics that we discussed was, do we have the right sort of Peterborough homes for the 21st century? And we come to the conclusion that we need to start doing a bit better in terms of developing the right sort of houses, because a lot of builders, what they're doing at the moment, they're building expensive houses that's going to give them a good return of investment, rather than building affordable houses where first-time buyers get on the property ladder. So that was one of the topics that we spoke about. And the second topic that we discussed was how 6% of all properties sold in Peterborough were new builds, and that was the statistics for last year. So there were the two topics that we discussed, and then obviously shortly we're going to be getting our guest.
You know what, Qasafi, I think we got him. Let's see who's here. Let's have a look. Ramel, are you there?
Hello, good evening everybody.
How are you getting on today?
Good evening, mate.
Hi Qasafi, hi Adam.
Hi Ramel.
Apologies, the reception's quite bad in sunny Luton, so I'm not in my usual place at the moment, but yeah.
It's all right,
How
Ramel.
you guys getting on? All right?
Doing really well.
Good.
Really well. Just been discussing a few of the topics in Peterborough, and yeah, we're really interested to hear your thoughts on it, Ramel. So, could you tell the listeners and the viewers a little about yourself, your experience in property, and just get a bit more about you?
Yeah. Well, I started in the property industry back in 2012. Literally bought my first buy to let, which was a single let. And then my second property was a HMO in Luton, and since then, obviously, as you know, you let your investments mature and then you reinvest again. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's been quite fun at the same time.
Nice. I mean, I think that's one of the things that everyone loves about property, isn't it? It's always different. There's always a variety, and like you say, you said about you started off in single buy to lets, and then you went and got HMO, which for anyone who doesn't know is a house multiple occupancy shared houses. So how did you find that transition, Ramel?
It was interesting, to say the least. Obviously, trying to manage one tenancy and then suddenly to manage like 5 at the same time, it was a handful. But obviously, I had a lot of people who are already in the property industry to help me and support me throughout the whole process. So it's a mixed bag, really, isn't it? Because you never know what you're going to get on the HMOs.
You really don't, do you?
No. But yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's a very interesting one, and it's a lot of money to be made in HMOs, of course. The rent, depending on where you're buying and how good the rental yields are, it stacks up. The figures do stack up at the end of the day.
So I'm interested for our viewers out there, Ramel. Out of the two strategies that you've tried, single let's nice and easy vanilla, and HMOs where it's high yielding but high headache. Which one's your preference?
HMO, mate. HMO.
The money talks, does it?
Money does talk at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, for us investors, at the end of the day, we want to ensure that we are getting the best out of the property market, and depending on what sort of strategy you have in place. My strategy is in the next sort of 10 years. After that, stop investing and then stop pretty much paying off some of the previous ones that you've already bought.
See, I really like that, Ramel. I really like, because I don't hear that spoke about too often in property investing. We have a lot of normal landlords, should I say? There's normally a very short-sighted view on it. I find there's not very much long-term of, like you just said there. After the sort of next 10 years, I want to stop investing. I just want to focus on paying down debt. I don't hear that very often.
That's right.
So what made you look at it that way?
Well, I mean, one is the age, of course. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 39, so.
Well, your bio said you were 22, Ramel. was that a lie? Was it?
Thanks, mate. Thanks. I really like that. But yeah, it's purely because obviously, I mean, there's a lot of hard work involved in this, and obviously, it's only a matter of time when your body naturally starts giving up. So hence the reason why you sort of slow down and then look at the investments and then start paying them off eventually.
No, it's definitely a really, really smart view on it. You've got to look at property as a business. I think a lot of people don't look at it as a business.
No, they don't. Actually, no. I take that back. Not a lot of people nowadays do look at it as a business. Maybe if I'm talking about my parents' era, they weren't looking at it as a business. It was more like an investment, and then that's it. Leave something for the kids, and pretty much that's it. But nowadays, a lot of people are investing because they want to make a business out of it. They want to actually replace their main income, whatever it could be, and then that's it. That could be your main passive income coming in. That will override your main income.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I see it myself every day with the landlords we deal with. I'm very blessed to have you as one of my landlords as well, Ramel, so that's good, eh? Bringing good quality houses.
I'm blessed to have you as an as well.
So, Ramel, this leads on quite nicely to the topic we were discussing as well, to be fair. So we were discussing, obviously, the housing shortage, especially around here. So you being a landlord in multiple locations, I mean, how have you found this?
I've actually found it quite interesting, actually, because obviously a lot of my properties are in Luton, in Bedfordshire. So Luton is literally 3 times the size of Peterborough, as you would know. It's all to do with supply and demand. The demand in Luton is not that is a lot, but there's not enough again houses to provide for them. And I've seen the same thing happening in Peterborough as well. And I think Peterborough has not even reached its peak yet, to be honest with you. It's just getting starting off.
No.
So I think it's a really good time to still keep investing in Peterborough, really.
I think you're right, I think you're right. I think, although the housing shortage, it can be a massive strain on it, on like the economy. I think then it helps good landlords such as yourself bring good quality properties in. The tenants appreciate it and the tenants snap it up for good money and everyone's happy. Like we're saying about the win-win situation.
But basically, one of the things is it's not the choice of living now. It's the style of living. Because obviously, with the new age sort of growing up now, they have a lot more expectations. They want to live in those sort of luxurious houses where they're not getting troubled by the tenants or by the landlords. So we have to keep up with the game.
That leads nice on to the next question I'd lined up for you, Ramel. So, I mean, how's the current climate changed your investment strategy then? So you just mentioned there how, it's a different generation coming through. They expect a different quality of property. I mean, so what have you changed over the last, 7 years as a landlord?
Well, you have to. Well, I had to, because obviously, again, looking at what's out there and what I have to do, or what I have to do in order to bring my properties up to the current market level, I had to do a lot of refurb in a lot of my properties to bring it up to the market standard, and add more to it. So obviously, it means a lot more investment, but then again, you do get good tenants. You do have good rents, and obviously that at the end of the day, it's all about making money at the end of the month, isn't it? Every month.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a great feeling as well, knowing you're handing a tenant such a nice house. I mean, because obviously we worked together on the latest one. I saw it, and the pictures speak for themselves. I don't know if you saw them, Qasafi. The pictures online, that it was the ones with the grey ceiling. Oh my god, that flew off the market in 24 hours.
Okay.
For good rent as well. The tenants love it.
Your stuff too, man. Yeah, the stuff that you kind of post on.
Thanks to you, Adam. Obviously.
That's what I mean.
Can't thank you enough, because
it's a joint effort.
It is a joint effort, but I think obviously the way you go about doing things as well. Obviously, as you know, the storm that we had to override. Yeah, considering that we were still like 4 weeks before we had to finish, and then you had tenants lined up pretty much in the latter of the few weeks, didn't you? And then that's it.
It's purely supply and demand, like me and Qasafi always talk about. It's supply and demand, isn't it? You bring the product, people are willing to pay, and they want that good quality house.
Yes, definitely, I couldn't agree on less.
So I mean, Raoul, I know you mentioned on your bio you've got properties in Luton, you've got properties in Peterborough, and you've also got properties around Cambridgeshire. So I mean, what sort of areas do you find work well? I mean, what do you feel different about the areas? I know we talk a lot about Luton. You say about your rooms and your properties there fly like no tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, just to give you an example, the reason why I invested in Luton, obviously I've got my mum's side of the family there, a big family here to support me. Second reason was I'm very close to Luton Airport, so 95% of my tenants are all airport staff. So they could be cabin crews, they could be runway marshals, they could be EasyJet staff, you name it. So majority of them are all airport staff, and that's the moment you put a room out that comes available on the market, it goes within a matter of a couple of days. But then again, at the same side, you do have a lot of time wasters, just like everywhere. So
every industry,
but yeah. It is. But I do see more now because there's a lot more competition in Luton as well now. Really? Just like in Peterborough, obviously, I'll be honest with you. You amongst all the other agents are one of the disturbers of the market. And that's
yes,
what we
you
want.
heard that first, guys.
Disruption. We want the disruptors that can actually cause chaos on the market, and that's what we want. And that's what I'm finding in Luton at the moment, where I've got a lot of disruptors, and I'm having to keep up with that trend, really. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it really is, and it's interesting that a landlord with so much experience has looked, because I often find the old school landlords can be a bit tricky. And they've got their rent for so many years, done it a certain way, and they're very stuck in their ways. So it's interesting that a landlord with a fair bit of experience like yourself has still, openly admitted, gone, right, I need to make a change to the portfolio because it's not quite what the market wants anymore. And you've gone and you've done it, and you're staying competitive.
Yes, yeah. We have to keep up with the demand at the end of the day. If we don't, then obviously we're doing something drastically wrong. And I think we need to build more houses, because I think people want more and more, don't they? Really, I mean, even though we are still building all these fancy houses, it's still never enough, because there'll always be someone out there that will do something different, and you would have to revisit and reanalyze your strategies again.
It's very true. I mean, how do you feel the market's going to go then, Ramel? Because I mean, there's a lot of co-living development, especially over your way in London as well, isn't there? Where it's changing the market entirely and how we live. Oh
mate, London has already reached its ceiling, to be honest with you. But obviously, with this whole economic crisis at the moment that we're going through and the turmoil, it has come down a little bit. But that's not to say that it's going to stay like that. But I do feel that it is the property market has had a bit of a hit. Not much, but a little bit in certain areas. In key areas like London, for example, that's been the worst hit. So that's why a lot of landlords are actually selling up because and due to the tax changes as well now,
of course,
which is having a major impact with this whole section. Is it Section 24? Isn't it?
24, yeah. The tax, Brexit, everything. It's all coming at once.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. I'm certainly not feeling the pressure maybe as much as someone who has 30, 40, 50, even 100 properties. But I still do feel a little bit of the hit as we speak, because again, it's all to do with the rents. For example, in Luton, where I was renting rooms at say £600 a month, now I'm having to drop it down to £550, for example, purely because one, there's so many competition. Secondly, it's the market. The market is dictating what we should be charging.
Oh, totally. I mean, something's only worth what the general public are willing to pay, eh? At the end of the day.
That's right. Yeah, and because at the end of the day, the inflation rates are rising, but is our
Oh, we lost you, Ramel. You still there?
Inflation rate?
There we go. We got you. Sorry, mate. We lost you for a second.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I was just saying that I was, at the end of the day, because the inflation rates are going up in the market, does our salaries, is it on that sort of level yet to?
Oh, we lost him, eh? We don't want to talk about inflation rates, clearly. Oh, you're back, Ramel.
Can you hear me still?
Every time you mention inflation,
yeah,
the camera just goes, no, we're not having none of this. Must be a sensitive subject, eh?
It is. I think it's our democracy that's stopping us from talking about inflation rates.
Exactly.
And the government.
Ramel, so come on, all these new budding investment landlords, buy-to-let landlords looking to create a new path of life, like you said, trying to replace their income with property. What one piece of advice would you give them? If anyone's starting up in this current climate? No pressure.
You need to have a thick skin. You need to have a thick skin for sure. I think the advice I would give them is perseverance. Perseverance. You need to be motivated. There's a lot of days where you might wake up and you won't. Oh my gosh! Now do I really want to go on site today? You just have to look beyond that and still persevere and go through the motions to actually make it a successful business for yourself.
So you're staying. The number one thing is stay in the game, no matter what.
You have to stay in the game, definitely. As long as I've got you by my side, Adam, I'm willing to fight the world.
Yes, that's what we like it. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I bet you're wishing you had him, from the start, 2012, when you first started to invest in properties.
I couldn't agree any less, Qasafi. Yes, I wish I did. There's not many people in Luton like I was saying to Adam that I need more Adams in Luton. So, I can't find them.
Why don't we get him cloned and send one down to Luton?
That would help.
That might be worth the investment, I think.
We could make an army. That'd be great. I could stay at home and tell everyone I'm everywhere at all times.
we'll have Adams in every county possible.
Amazing. I mean, Romel, you've been an investor over the last several years now. You must have seen the property market fluctuate up and down, the good days and the bad days. I mean, recently there was a documentary on TV where all the kind of directors of the property market, like Zoopla, Rightmove, they all had to say on the current property market, the current climate. And every single one of them said that we're heading for a recession. So what's your opinion on that? In terms of the property market at the moment, would you suggest that there's a potential recession coming on?
There is a potential threat of going into a recession, yes. I think we just have to wait for another few more weeks to see exactly. Oh, not even a few more weeks now. It's a few more days, isn't it? Really.
Well, if it happens,
to see what happens, and then based on whatever our treasury brings out in the next budget, that's going to have a massive impact on every one of us.
So
definitely.
The question is, Ramel, as a landlord, are you worried about Brexit?
As a landlord, no, but as a business owner who trades in Europe a lot, yes.
See, it's interesting. We don't normally hear from that side of the side of the fence on it, really. So what worries you, Ramel? Do you think it's going to have an effect on your your recruitment business as opposed to your property business?
Yeah, because I think if we start implying tariffs and taxes on our export business, it will become unaffordable for our clients. So effectively, they will have to turn our business away, and we will lose out, and then we will find it difficult to actually get local people from Europe to work in Europe because we don't have that sort of expertise as of yet. But on the property side of things, right now, after Brexit, prices may come down a bit. It's a good time to buy, definitely. Not a good time to sell. No. And this is where investors should capitalize on buying those properties right now when the prices are low, and then hopefully recession, it will not stay around for years and years, maybe a year or two, and then eventually you'll reap the rewards of this investment in a good few years' time.
No, 100%. I mean, they say house prices double on average every 10 years. And when you look across the history of time, it shows, doesn't it? I mean,
definitely. I mean, if you compare to what the house prices were in the last recession, which was back in 2009, 2008, something like that, yeah. So look at the highest prices then to what it is now after, 10 years?
Yeah.
It's, God, the percentages are so high, I can't even believe to say what it is.
Well, 25%, 27% in the last 5 years increase.
That's 5 years alone.
That's just 5 years.
And that's 5 years.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I've seen Peterborough change immensely.
I would suggest keep going. I'm not scared about the housing market at all. I'm going to be looking to investors again in the early part of next year. Touch wood, inshallah. So and hope you're going to be helping me, Adam.
Definitely. I'll be joining you right there, Ramel. We'll be bidding on the houses together.
Exactly. We want to create more luxury houses for people out there because I think the market needs it.
I definitely reckon that I can see there's a demand for it, definitely. So I mean, finally then, Ramel, so if you yourself could do things differently, and as a landlord starting back again in 2012, what would you want to do differently? What mistake would you want to try and avoid? Tell our listeners out there.
I think one of the things that I've learned is never fall for the trap, especially from construction workers like builders. Never fall for their prices. If some prices are very low, it means trouble. It's too good to be true. And I've learned the hard way, where I've lost thousands of pounds, and as you know as well yourself, Adam, the recent one that we did, how much money I lost out because of my bad choice. I put my hands up. I made a wrong decision.
You've already learned in this world, eh?
You learn, and now, just go through a very thorough vetting process with the builders that you take on board onto your projects. And sometimes, rather than trying to save just a couple of grand, it's best to pay the couple of grand and get something completed to a high level than not complete at all.
But you will say, don't you, pay cheap, pay twice?
Yeah, and I think it's true. And I think
Exactly.
It's a really valuable lesson.
I've done that quite a few times.
But it's a trap that most new landlords fall into, though, isn't it, Ramel? I mean, I see it time and time again. People question me how much to build a house. Convert a house normally. I tell them they need to fall over. And then I see them in 6 months' time and they come back and go, Adam, it cost me how much anyway?
Exactly. And it's triple what you quoted, basically. Yeah,
and it's a painful lesson, but we all must learn it. I mean, I've had my fair share of poor builders in my time as well. You live and learn, eh?
Yeah, that's right. But I think having that good network of builders as well as project managers like yourself, it all makes difference. It does make a difference.
Oh, definitely.
Well, you certainly have in my world.
No, we're glad. No, I mean, so come around. The final bit of the show then, which we've been waiting to hear from you guys, is what do you love about Peterborough other than the rental income?
I like the food places in Peterborough. That's one thing for sure as well, and the shisha places.
Yeah, it's true. We do have a really good selection of food and shisha places, though. We really do.
That's only recent, though, isn't it?
It is, but they're popping up everywhere now.
I mean, I thought Luton is kind of like the place to eat, because that's got a lot of places, has it not?
It has, yes, and it's very saturated now. The quality of food has gone down, so it's not as what it used to be 5-6 years.
Can't remember the last mate from Luton, to be fair, but hey ho.
This is why Ramel now invested in Peterborough, you see, because of the food. It's not the houses, it's just the food, isn't it?
There you go.
He's gone Luton to oversaturated bad food now.
So the one thing that you love about Peterborough is the food. Well, hey.
It's all right, Ramel. I'm right there with you. I love the food in Peterborough.
The food, and I think also the people as well. There are a lot of good people in Peterborough as well that are willing to help, especially like yourself, Qasafi. I do listen to Salam Radio quite frequently now, and you guys are doing so much for the community, and you're giving back to the community, which is the main thing.
Guys like yourself, Ramel. Really couldn't.
Definitely, really appreciate you coming down. It's been really informative and beneficial for not only myself, but I'm sure our listeners out there who are going to watch this on repeat. Even are going to listen back to some of your pointers.
Please don't.
This is what the community is all about, Ramel. It's bringing everyone together so we can learn from each other. And that's what I love about this show.
Knowledge is power, mate. Knowledge is power.
It really is. So no, Ramel, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure to have you on the show.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Ramel, you have a good evening, my friend, and we'll catch up soon.
You too. Take care. All the best, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. So guys, that was Ramel from London, who is a property investor, giving away some golden nuggets on what to avoid to invest in property, as well as what the property market is like and what it could potentially end up coming end of the year and in early 2020. So guys, our time is now up, so I just want to thank everyone for tuning in today, especially our guest Ramel. If there is anything that you would like us to discuss about the Peterborough property market, then you can WhatsApp us on 07745 278 978 or comment on our Facebook show. Next week our guest is a mystery guest. Halloween guest.
Guys,
you can rewatch this show on Facebook and YouTube, or you could search me on LinkedIn where I'll be posting it. So from myself and Adam, thank you very much for joining us today on Salam Radio. Until next week, same time, same place, we are your Peterborough Property Guys.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
There's a million choices available for dining out in Leeds.
But if you want something special, there's only one name to remember.
Mumtaz Leeds.
Relax in our newly refurbished Riverside restaurant.
Enjoy exquisite home cooking from our brand new menu. Upgrade to the Mumtaz Leeds experience.
And the price? Well, we're better value than ever before.
Mumtaz Leeds, Chadwick Street, Leeds, LS10 1PJ. Call 0113 242 4211.
Free car parking available.
कोई रत्तियां कमीज़ानी लमाना मारे मामा मिठिया में चीज़ानी।
मेरा नाम मुकद्दस है और कोट मेरा घर है और ये मेरे लिए किसी जन्नत से कम नहीं। हमारे भी कुछ ख्वाब हैं जिनकी ताबीर को हमें पाना है।
आइए इन बच्चों के ताबनाक मुस्तकबिल के लिए अपना हिस्सा डालिए। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात, खैरात और इमदाद कोट को दीजिए।
UK number 0300 123 774. Website court.org.uk.
Al Murad Tiles. With over 70 stores nationwide, we are now open in Peterborough. Up to 50% discount offers now on. Largest selection of tiles. Full bathroom suites from only £189. Paint, LED lighting, laminate flooring from only £7.99. Over 1,000 designs of wallpaper in stock. We have everything you need. Come and visit us at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH, or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Al Murad Tiles, now open.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road, Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أد الأمانة إلى من ائتمنك ولا تخن من خانك. That you should fulfill the trust of the one who entrusts you and do not betray the one who betrays you.
Gems and jewels, wise sayings, interesting events, and moral lessons from Islamic history. What is the matter with you when a single disaster smites you? Although you smote your enemies with one twice as great, you say, from where does this come to us? Say to them, it is from yourselves because of your evil deeds, and Allah has power over all things.
This is Salam Radio. The following is a repeat broadcast. Please do not call or message into the show.
Good evening, everybody. This is Suki Wahiwala, your host this evening on Salam Radio and the Empower Hours show. As you know, this is the show that you've been waiting for every single week, every single Tuesday evening between 7 and 8 o'clock. So, if you'd like to get involved, be the first to connect via text, WhatsApp. Always double check on 07745 278 978. Please do your best to interact. Tonight we have the most amazing, young, vibrant energy that we're going to cover and have an intimate conversation with about her past and her journey further forward. If you'd like to call in and speak to her by any chance, do call on 01733 602 133. So, this evening we have an amazing guest. Once again, this is everybody we bring to the table here on the Empower Hour with ourselves is they're individuals who have touched humbly thousands of people's lives in some format and some way. So this is a young lady who has come from a background of being what we classify as one of three children in in Kent in specific. And she's come from an academic family and actually has been completely forwarded and actually supported in her energetic, vibrant energy of changing the world through dance, through teaching, through education, of choreography, and really touching people through a psychological touch within her mind. This evening we have Harkiran Virdi. Harkiran, please welcome.
Hi, how are you?
What a lovely smile and lovely energy as always. You've put a smile on everybody's face without even seeing them, eh? Now, when you hear later on, the smile is so prevalent and so important to her life that we'll touch on that a little bit more detail. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
The number one show, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been told by Little Dickybird that this young lady has also now started being a presenter of her own.
Yes.
On Brit Asia TV. A very good friend of mine, Tony, and Gurjan's team. So, let's get on with the conversation. You're probably going to put me right, I'm sure, in how to actually communicate with you properly.
No, never.
So let's get straight to the point. There's a certain structure that we always deliver, and one of the key things is that our audience are very local and very international as well. We get listened to by people from all over the world. Don't let there be a stress, but all over the world, from all the peaks of what we can say Canada, all the through to Australia, India, and places of that sort of nature, Pakistan, and also, which I believe Africa is a mid-country as well. So feel very excited to get your word out to the best. It's an amazing evening. So how does a lady, a young girl, mid-20s, become such a global phenomenon? So, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about what your journey was like as a child in south of, in Kent.
So I grew up in quite a very active family. Mm-hmm. So I grew up with watching my dad. He serves the community, but he also worked his job was very demanding. He was a civil servant.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up with seeing my dad work not just Monday to Friday, but he would be in I'm from Gravesend in Kent.
Hey,
Gravesend.
A big shout out to Gravesend here. We have it.
Yeah. So he would serve the community in Gravesend as well, at the temple, the Sikh Gurdwara, and with the Bhangra team and Asian Welfare Society. There was lots of things that he had his kind of hand in. My dancing actually comes from my mum. So my mum was part of a Gidda group.
Now, a Gidda group, for people who are non-English speaking, is basically a female dance group version of the Bhangra group. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a traditional folk dance, and it's for women. It's very powerful. They sing their own songs whilst they dance. And every song has a meaning behind, a story that maybe a daughter-in-law or a sister-in-law has been through, that sort of thing. It can be quite funny, it can be quite serious. But yeah, so